And she's going to be bringing out one of our really cool
Stephanie
ambassadors, and her name is Stella.
Stella!
Does anyone want to take a wild guess about what Stella might be?
Adorable.
Adorable? Yes, over here. Yes, an anteater. She is, in fact, a type of anteater. So typically, the one that we mainly think about is called the giant anteater, and those guys are going to be living on the ground. They're going to be a terrestrial species. If you guys do have a chance to see them, they are over by the Skyfari, by the polar bears exit area. So if you guys do have a chance to see those today, I do recommend looking at her and seeing if you guys can see any similar adaptations between them. Now, Stella here is what we call a lesser anteater, just because of size, not because she's like lesser in any way, besides size. But she is also referred to as a Tamandua, or a Tamandua. Now, these guys are going to be found out in Central South America. They have been known to go as far north as the Mexico areas, but they will not push into the States. So these guys have two different, what we call subspecies. So we have the northern and the southern. And now the way you can tell them apart is you can't. They look exactly the same. So genetically, some of them have like black vests, or some of them are more blonde. So you'll just see genetics-wise who gets what. Now you guys are going to see some really cool adaptations, like this amazing tail hang, while she is working through this setup that you guys see here today. Now that tail hang is doable because she actually has what we call a prehensile tail. Now that word prehensile just means to grab on. So humans, we have prehensile hands. Does anyone want to throw out a different animal that has a weird part that's prehensile?
Rhino nose. Upper lip. Lip.
Rhino's upper lip is prehensile, so they can grab things. Yeah, right here. Bat's wings? Yeah, so they can move them up and down, right? Good. They can't necessarily grab with them, though, but they can grab with those hands, right? Yeah, the hands on it. Yeah.
They fly in their older mammal's hand, or similar to...
Exactly, the bats...
Just move their bones around in their hand.
You are completely correct. Those wings are very similar to our hand structures for grabbing. Orange shirt. Something. What's prehensile on a pangolin? It's tongue? Okay, good. What about the same thing that Stella has? She has a prehensile tail. That's the big one for those guys as well. Now, the most common one that people usually think of is an elephant's nose. So that is also a very big prehensile part. Now, as Stella's moving around, I did say you're going to see several adaptations for her doing all this. So you guys will see her up in these tree areas. You typically won't see her on the ground for this setup. They are mostly arboreal, so that just means they spend the majority of their time up in the trees. So we have her up in the tree-esque area for you guys to see. With adaptations for doing that. So you guys will see her kind of walking sideways. Kind of pigeon-toed almost. Does anyone want to give me a guess as to why she is walking sideways on those hands? Kids or adults, that is fine. Any hands? Tie-dye. I think it's tie-dye, right? Oh, okay, nice.
She's walking like that with her hands in her feet, maybe. So she's grabbing just that side, but she can walk this side.
This is Stella.
Okay, so the observation was basically for grabbing, right? She's walking one so she can grab with another. Now that's a really good observation, but she's actually going to keep doing that because she's actually going to want to keep those nails on the front very, very strong and sharp. Now the reason for that is because these guys are a type of anteater and they are going to need to break into ant and termite mounds. Now those can get very, very strong at times depending on how well they're made by the insects. But what they'll do is they'll break into them with those claws, usually a small hole, and then they'll shove their face right on in and slurp up whatever they can in a short amount of time. Now these guys do eat thousands of insects each day with that tongue that you guys are now seeing. So they'll shove that muzzle in and then slurp them up like you're seeing, and usually it's pretty quick as to not get bitten by any ants or termites on those mounds. So usually they're pretty quick about it and then go on to the next one. Now you guys will see that tongue coming out. It's not necessarily prehensile, but they can be pretty specific about what they're getting. They are sustainable eaters is what we call them. So they do kind of take a small amount of a colony and then go off to another one so that colony can replenish itself. So the whole species as a whole, as well as the insect species, can just keep thriving as well. Now, as you guys are seeing that tongue, though, you guys might see a cloudy layer start to appear on that very clean tube. That's very, very slimy, and it does not come off very easily. You can ask Stephanie or myself if you guys want to shake her hand after. Go ahead. You're more than welcome to. You just might have to take like a really good scrubber on your hand, like a good sponge afterwards. Now you guys will see that she's going to be moving around with Stephanie, and you guys might see a yellow little lollipop looking thing in Stephanie's hand and a clicking sound. Good timing, Stephanie. Now that is what we use for positive reinforcement and getting her around, giving her the choice to choose in control of what she's doing out here. So we kind of start those target polls off pretty early on with a good majority of our ambassadors, just to make sure that they are following us out here. So you'll see that that target pole is placed in front. Stella will put her nose, I think it's, what's the criteria? Touching?
Yeah.
So she will touch her nose to the target pole, and then once she does that, you will hear Stephanie click. That click is what we call a bridge. That bridge is just to let her know that the food or the high reinforcement is coming. So in Stella's case, it is going to be worms. That is the highest value for her at the moment. Some animals, that high value thing does change, just like with humans. Something reinforcing to us one day is not as reinforcing to us the next day. But we do work a lot with positive reinforcement here. And you guys do it every day in your lives, even if you don't actually realize it. Adults, who has a job? No one, really? Yeah, right? So with a job, you guys, paychecks are something that are positively reinforcing us to come back to work. Even if we don't want to, we do, because that's a positively reinforcing thing for our lives. For kids, what's something that you do for your parents that you think is reinforcing to them? Anybody? Over here again?
To me, I think that saying positively was reinforcing to me is like if you like put stuff on, like if your mom tells you like clean the toilet with that, clean your bedroom, it's positively reforming.
Yeah.
Because you get something back. You get like you got a clean room. You get
Mm-hmm.
and some people even get money from their children.
Yeah, very good. So basically, you guys didn't hear, doing stuff for the adults, right? They ask you to do something, you do it. That could be very positively reinforcing to that adult. Other things could be thank yous, just very simple thank yous, or hugs to adults if they enjoy them. That's up to them. Parents, you guys do this all the time with kids, so I'm not even going to go into that. You guys know you do it. We're not going to tell them any hints. Now back to Stella a little bit. Now Stella, switching topics a little bit, Stella is actually part of what we call our species survival program here at the San Diego Zoo, as well as all AZA facilities, which is the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Now that's just basically a fancy Match.com, essentially. So a breeding program. And she is actually part of it here, and she has actually been assigned to 2 males, not at once, but so we'll kind of just put her in habitat with them. There's a lot more to it, but generalized wise, we'll put her in the same habitat as one of the males, or the males will come to her habitat, and we'll see if they are successful at mating. And if they're not, they spend time away from each other. But she is partnered with 2 males at different times of the year. She is currently actually trying out some mating with Mani. If anyone's a regular here, Mani is our 5-year-old Tamandua, and Stella here is about 3 years old. They are still pretty young in their lives. Usually around 8 to 10 is when we see them start to age a little bit further, so we try to get them together pretty early on in life. Now, as she's moving around, does anyone actually have any questions for me about Stella or anything else that you guys have seen today? That is okay also. Yeah, right?
Are they a nice, clean animal, or do they have a fragrance? Because I think
Are they a nice, clean animal, or do they have a fragrance to them? So they are not very clean. They are pretty smelly, although she looks very clean. She is actually, in my opinion, our dirtiest Tamandua. Sorry. Look, Monty doesn't roll around in his poop just willy-nilly, so... often. She doesn't do that often.
I think Stephanie's facial
so
reaction
these
matched
guys can
my
be pretty
audio
smelly.
reaction.
These guys are actually nicknamed the stinkers of the rainforest. They do have a smell that is about 3, 4, 5. We all say different things, but it is stronger than a skunk smell, and it lingers quite a bit. Very good question. Thank you for that. Does anyone else have any questions? Stella looks like she's going to be making her way back to her carrier, but feel free to throw them out here. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just adding on to his question.
Go Stella. And this is at the Wildlife Explorer Basecamp, the 1 o'clock presentation. San Diego Zoo.
Ever smelled him?
All right, bye guys.